No. Hi.
Caleb,
Good morning, Jenay.
Good morning.
look at you. You don't look like you just went through the ringer. You already recovered?
Well, I've had like a week, but yeah, I'm coming around. Wasn't in too bad a shape coming out this year compared to past years, so just tired.
Third time world champ, right? Tactical games, third year in a row.
I suppose you could call it world. You're dipping into world now because we just went overseas this year. But I would say this year was technically a national championship still because we didn't have a lot of international representation.
Is it? Do the tactical games have a sister org or a Is there anyone else who does what tactical games does in the space at that scale?
At that scale, no. There is a competitor, you could call it, does similar stuff, but to my understanding, it's at a much lower scale right now.
Okay, then world champ it is.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
World champ it is. Hey, is the other organization in the United States?
It is.
Okay. Is it related? Is it a splinter? Is there like drama there, or it's just like no, there's room for more in the space?
If there is, it would be really old drama. I don't think anyone in the current spaces of either party would know about it. Because I think if there was a split or a fruition of the second one, that it happened a long time ago. So I don't personally know of any drama. And I think that the competitors that compete in the other one do kind of come and compete in tactical games as well.
15 stages in the tactical games 2025?
15. I think that might be the most ever.
You know, I'm going to tell you my first takeaway from watching it was, oh, does she ever just get to shoot? do you know what I mean? Or maybe it's worked out. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but I'm like, God, I wonder if this ever like sours her taste to shooting because you have to work so hard with the shooting. Like, do you ever just get to just be like, hey, honey, let's just go to the range and let's just shoot?
Yeah, for sure. And that is the fun part. And some of my favorite stages are the action shooting stages. So in this Tactical Games Nationals, we had 6 regular stages, you could call it, where you do fitness and shooting combined. And then only 6, really, I guess. I could go back and count it, but I think that they had said there were 6. And then the other stages are either a fitness only or a shooting only stage. So with that said, like we did a run event that was 20 minutes long and I got to just run, just let it loose, which are probably some of my favorite events because I don't have to hold anything back. It feels, true to my roots in CrossFit that I can just kind of go out there and send it and not worry. And then the shooting only stages used to be something I hated because it was my biggest weakness. And now that I've learned more about shooting, they've become some of my favorite because they're just so fun. We like to joke that you get to go like kind of John Wick mode out there on some of the action shooting stages. Like there's a bunch of close paper for rifle on one of our action shooting stages. You just get to like bang, 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 like super fast and then shoot long range in the middle on this tank trap. And then when you're done, you like go shoot pistol in the forest and go fast. So those go fast, like only have to shoot ones can be some of the most fun of the weekend for everyone involved. They definitely have a high probability of being a problem if you have a malfunction or you just like really drop the ball on your plan. It could be some of the most detrimental to your overall score. But if you just have a good run or maybe you hit a home run, did something that like you didn't think you could do, that's the coolest feeling that you get of the weekend sometimes is those like just shooting stages like you're talking about. So yes, I go and train that.
Awesome. Because I was like, man, this is like a lot of work. Not only that, but the prep. So like, at least if you're just a CrossFitter, you could just go out and just to your garage or to your affiliate and do the workout. But shooting has so much prep, right?
Yeah, there is. I mean,
way more prep than just working out.
So much more. Getting equipment, getting it all dialed in, paying for ammo, having a place to go and shoot. You probably pay a membership there, the commute to get out there. If you were trying to fitness and shoot together at the range, your range would have to allow it for first and foremost, which is rather rare. And then getting all the stuff out there, how much capability do you have to bring out? You'd have to own your own equipment because your local gym's not going to let you just bring their equipment out to the gun range and get it full of dirt and lead. So like doing fitness and shooting at the range is actually a very an unapproachable thing for most people. So I'd say most people do split it up like that, where they just go out and do fitness at their home gym or CrossFit gym, and then at the range they do just shooting.
When I was a kid, skateboarding was there were times where skateboarding got really popular, and then you would start to see signs popping up everywhere. No skateboarding, no skateboarding, or they would put things out to stop skateboarders. Is it getting like that at shooting ranges? Like, do you go somewhere and it says, "Hey, no training here, no fitness, no working out."
No fitness. I don't think we're
Yeah.
on that level yet, but that would be so epic.
I mean, it's gotta be coming, right? Or you know what? Or even when CrossFit came, do you remember? Go ahead, Caleb.
I feel like generally ranges just put umbrella under like no playing on the range. Like that's like the thing.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not
Don't
gonna
let your kids and dogs out there. Don't throw a ball to your
no
dog out
burpees on the range, like shit like
no burpees. Oh, that would be such an epic sign to see. I feel like we would have one.
Well, I mean, you remember back in the day when CrossFit first started, all of a sudden, you know, by 2011, 12, you'd go into gyms and it would be like no deadlifting, no wall balls. Like you would start seeing that in gyms.
Yeah, Globo
like,
gyms.
Yeah, Globo gyms and even university gyms. I remember I used to train at the big beautiful gym they had at UC Berkeley, and they were like, "Hey man, no deadlifts, no overhead squatting." I'm like, "What?"
They wouldn't let us do wall balls on like the indoor track wall because
it's a
like,
danger.
it would
Insurance
stuff up the walls and shit.
Or insurance doesn't cover throwing objects. They used to tell us.
But we'll let the baseball players throw baseballs.
All right, so that just shows
each other.
Yeah, Tactical Games has room to grow. You don't have the sign yet.
Yeah.
No guns and no guns in your gyms and no training at the facilities. Is there a premier tactical gym tactical games shooting facility? Has anyone made someplace where it's like, oh, that's the place you want to train? They got the weights and they got the shooting, like they're really dialed in.
I mean, Hebner comes to mind.
Oh, like his actual house.
Yeah, his private house that he could like invite you out to. I know he's always very generous about like welcoming visitors in, but I would say he's probably got the premier setup. And I do know of a couple people in the community that have home gyms and places to shoot on their own property. So maybe they were inspired by Jacob's setup, or maybe it's just part of the game, like growing and more people are seeking out that kind of setup, which is super cool. But there's not like an establishment that has it all. So Tactical Games does have a HQ gym that has all of the implements that you would see at Tactical Games from a physical aspect, but it's not attached to a range.
There's no gym called Shoot Fit.
No. I'm sure the liability would be difficult on that. But that would be fun.
Is there a gun that simulates a real gun that you can that you could get into places like that, like one that like I could have in my backyard, but also simulates, you know, like I could put all this stuff on and shoot the gun and projectiles would come out, but like my neighbors wouldn't call the cops on me?
Yeah, good question. There is one Unit Solutions rifle. I found out about it through connections with Born Primitive Tactical. They have a lot of like military LEO, and that rifle, imagine it like looks like a real rifle, but it shoots something like a airsoft pellet.
Is the recoil, I don't know shit about guns, but is the recoil the most realistic part you're looking for that like the rest of these other guns don't have?
Good question. So if you're going to get something that is simulating like real shooting, of all the Unit Solutions rifles, the builds of them, you can make identical to your actual build. So when you're practicing, there's a lot to say about like motor patterning when it comes to shooting. Like your hand, you want your hand to be in the same spot. You want your cheek weld to feel the same. So if you had something that was drastically different, like say I actually just went and got an airsoft gun, it might not be as transferable because my body positioning is a lot different versus if the rifle is exactly the same as what I would use in either my job or my sport or whatever, then I'm helping pattern that for game day, which makes it a lot more valuable. So the Unit Solutions, I would say, is the closest to what you're talking about. I've legitimately shot it in my backyard. We have neighbors that border our fences, and there's one that has a little paintball version of it, and there's one that there's no paint in it. It's just like unmarking. It does feel like shooting a BB gun, and it has this like recoil to it that's maybe I don't know what the actual percentage is, maybe like 50% of a rifle. It's a small amount, but it's enough to remind you to be in the right positions to absorb recoil. But it's not enough that it like feels like the real thing entirely, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
But you
Yeah.
can just like hose down your wall if you have, which is why I shoot it outside and not in my house for the marking ones. I think there's a whole different world of legitimate use for that in the LEO world. I think they use it a lot for CQB training. In our sport, it would be a rifle though, since it's literally like you cannot shoot a real round out of it. It doesn't even have a real magazine. It's like a CO2 canister that goes in the magwell and has like these little projectiles within it. So it's the CO2 can is what gives it like the little bit of recoil, but it's blue on the end. Like you can tell that it's not a real rifle. So I have seen people use those in their CrossFit gyms or local gyms that will let them use it. You could imagine that there's still some trouble with that though. Like if one person has the privilege of using something like that in their gym, then the gym would have to allow everyone to do that.
Right.
It could get weird, could get messy. Also, depending on your local community, like if they would be understanding of that, if that would be a big turnoff, what time of day are you using it? Is it during class times? That could be like really distracting and maybe in the best ways, in my opinion, but some other people might not be as on board with it. So that's one though that I would say is the most usable in home or gym if you don't have access to like a range on the regular that would let you move and shoot.
We're coming out. The Sevon podcast is coming out with ammo for that gun that actually has wildflower seeds in it. So when you shoot it outside, you're actually planting wildflowers. Yes, that are and the plants are these plants that endangered butterflies can live on and breed on. So we're doing all this great shit for the planet when we shoot.
Maybe people would be more on board with it then.
Yeah. So how many competitions did you do in 2025?
4 or 5. I'd have to go back and count, something like that.
And those competitions, can you tell me how you qualified for the national championships for the second time or third time?
Third time. Actually, fourth. I did qualify my first year and went. So
what year was that? So 2021 you went?
No, 2022, I went to nationals. That was my second ever competition. I qualified out of my first one, not because I was a baller, but because everyone else above me had already qualified. I was actually with all the best girls. Yeah. So I qualified and went to my first one and got fourth. It was just a few points out of podium. Was like, wow, I think I could do this. This is cool.
Who won that year, Jenay?
That year, I think Tristan Burris won.
Is she still shooting?
She still shoots, to my understanding, but she's not shooting in the tactical games anymore.
Okay.
We haven't seen her in a long time. So, but I think that she still does a lot of shooting sports.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I qualified the first year, and then every year that follows, so 23, 24, 25, I qualified and obviously had the opportunity to win. So the qualification process is through regionals. So in a similar way to CrossFit, where you had like regionals or semifinals and people qualify through the games through that. It's kind of like that, except we have regionals throughout the year. So, and anyone can show up to a regional. You don't have to necessarily like earn your spot at the regional. Maybe down the road, that'll be a progression.
Right.
But right now,
that's what it used to be in CrossFit too. Anyone could just show up to the games in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
And then there became, as more and more people came, they put more and more kind of hurdles to get through.
Right. So where we're at right now, there's say like 8 or so regionals throughout the year in all different locations across the United States. And you can sign up in whatever division you want and go and do the regional. And if you're in, I think it's top 3, or if someone had already qualified, like the top 3 spots from there, you would earn a qualification spot to the national championship that takes place in November. So that's the cap off of our season, very similar to the CrossFit games for the tactical games is our national championship. So you don't have to go to so many regionals. You could just go to one and qualify and then earn your spot and go to nationals. A lot of us go to several for the sake of training opportunities, because we love it and we think it's fun, hang out with friends. Or maybe sponsorship obligations. If your sponsors want to see you out there multiple times a year, then you might do it for that reason as well. So I went to several. They are quite expensive to go to for the most part. I mean, if you have to travel, you got travel expenses. The matches are expensive, relatively to me at least, and ammo. So it's a pretty big investment. So most people at least do like one or two and then go to nationals.
So, but theoretically, you could qualify. You could just go to one event and qualify.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And how many girls were in total at the championships in November?
I think we only had like 13 or 14 girls show up to the championship this year. The field is growing, but slowly for women. So we need to pull more women into the sport.
How many could have gone? Was it 15 or 20 or?
Probably somewhere between 20 and 30, I'm guessing, exist and could qualify in the women's elite field. It's a very small number right now still. But the women that are in the elite field have been there, a lot of them, for a very long time, like years before I've even been there. And there's a lot of really, really great shooters in women's elite that, like, although the number doesn't sound very robust, it's like these girls have a lot of experience and they've been doing it for a while. And it's definitely not like easy because the number isn't super high, I would say.
And you guys had a cut. When did the cut happen? Because I watched stage 15 yesterday and there were only 5 of you left. When do they make the cut?
Good question. So technically all the qualifying divisions did 14 events.
Okay.
Only the top 5 do the last event, the final, that you probably saw on YouTube.
And that's a really cool event. I really appreciated the fact everyone is so close to each other.
Competitors or spectators or both?
Well, I was thinking about the competitors. It's cool that the spectators can get as close as they can too, but just how all the competitors were right there. So like you're basically breathing on your guys, and you're just you're in those lanes with the turf down, and it was cool. It makes it so much better than trying to follow 10 people.
Sure, like the intimacy of 5, like it's easy.
Yeah, you can see the races. And going into stage 15, I don't remember if it was 2nd and 3rd or 3rd and 4th, but they basically went into it tied with like 958 points
for the women.
For the women, so that was kind of crazy. I mean, they had a great race at the end there.
Yeah. So our scoring is Z scoring. Like, where are you familiar with that?
No.
Is that like P-score?
But we have our own weird scoring that we do on the 7 podcast with the Heat 1 app.
Okay.
That's called P-scoring. But go ahead.
It is like the top score is your 100%. And then everyone else's score is divided over that. So you could
like kind of like going to school. It's like there's a curve.
Yeah.
And you can't, the best person sets the A.
I think that when Crash Crucible did their scoring, you could get negative points, right? In this version, you can't get negative points because it's divided by 100%. So divided by that score, you know what I mean? So everyone's going to be in some sort of percent zone. And I'm saying that to say, so that workout was quite long in duration. So I think Hepner, for example, took 26 minutes to do that workout. When you have that great of a time domain, if he beat the person next to him by 1 minute, perceivably to us, we're like, dang, he smashed that person. Like, that was a pretty good lead. But because the time duration was so great, the percentage that he took from that athlete or won over that athlete is actually kind of small. So I think those races would have been even more exciting and more significant on the scoreboard to finish if it was a shorter time domain, like banger style workout to finish, where any separation was going to be more significant than it was. But since it was so long, it didn't give a lot of room for separation on the leaderboard. I think that everyone stayed in the same spot come the end of that, which is just an interesting thing to know.
You're rewarded for how much you beat people by.
Yeah.
You're penalized for how much you lose by. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a great concept.
I think it's great too. Some people are frustrated with it because it's a little more difficult for the fans to follow and calculate, but I like it also.
Yeah, I mean,
it's better for the test.
It's already hard to calculate given that we have to do the 10-second penalty per miss if we shoot paper. So the overall fitness winner could have lost overall because they shot poorly if someone outshot them So I would say, like, given that it's already hard for our spectators to know who won for the most part, whatever. There are some stages where we shoot steel, and every miss that you have on steel, you have to do a penalty like live in the stage. For example, we're shooting rifle at 470, and if we miss, I think we shot like 7 rounds at a time, then you had a farmer's carry down and back that you had to do. So paying for the penalty points live in the stage allows the spectators to actually see in real time who is dead. So
That's the first year they've done that? Or is that normal? I thought that was really cool, that you're penalized for when you miss, then you got to start working.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that is how the final worked too, because we had the additional reasons that we missed. It's not the first year they've done it. It is a really cool concept. As with everything, there are trade-offs with it. So for the most part, it works out really well. The only hard part I found with it is we shot at 570 and 470 yards.
Wow. So you're shooting targets 570 yards away, half mile away. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, they were big, I guess. I think they were like 2 feet by 2 feet. It was pretty, like, it was very doable, I will say, given you're under fatigue and in a workout, conditions are not perfect. It does make it a lot harder, but very within our capabilities as shooters in this sport for the level of the sport. Anyways, when you're shooting that far, you need a spotter, and they have these little LED indicators on the targets that when you hit it, they light up, but sometimes you can shoot them off and then they don't light up, and you're like hitting the target and it's not turning green because like the LED indicator either was shut off, it malfunctioned. And that can be a little difficult having spotters do that, because the spotters could be just looking for the green. It is really hard to see. Like it seems like a simple thing, like just look at the target, see if it hits it. But these targets were very heavy and they didn't respond very much. So it was really hard to discern if it was a hit or miss. And there's 5 in a row, like across this berm. So there's a lot going on, and like other misses could be coming into play, like next to your target that you're watching. So that made it really hard to spot. And I know that can be a really big issue. And it did happen in the weekend to some friends of mine, is like they were hitting the target and the LED indicator was broken and their spotter was looking for green and it wasn't turning green, and they were hitting, you know what I mean? And then they have to do the penalty laps even though they were hitting. So like
they get that time back. Do you get to what's that called when you
arbitrate?
Yeah, or protest or contest.
Challenge.
Yeah. Do they get to challenge that and get their time back?
In our sport, we do have an arbitration process, which is great. I don't know how it turned out for them. I can't speak to it. But I think that they do have the opportunity to go and arbitrate that afterwards. But man, live in the stage, that's very hard to work through mentally as an athlete. When you know you're hitting, you're like frustrated. You're trying to be respectful to your judge.
Can you see your spotter, Jenay? Can you just be like, yo, what the fuck? I hit it. Can you do that?
Yes. You could see your spotter. They're like standing right over your like left shoulder from where we were sitting. And then your judge is on the right. And your judge is just using their blind eye. I mean, they can't really like see a whole lot at 570 unless it turns green.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it hit? Or you don't know if it's that one, maybe the person next to you hit?
That is true. Yes, that comes into play. And then also just these specific plates weren't very responsive. They're so heavy. So like depending on where you hit the plate, it could have been louder than if you hit the middle and it doesn't respond at all. It's like not very loud. But if you hit the edges, like you can hear it ting more. And then there's other people shooting next to you. It was a little tough to rely on the sound as well.
Do they paint the targets at all? Like do they cover them in like white paint or yellow paint or something like that?
Yeah,
good
question.
Just a bronze?
So they painted them originally, and then they just kind of left them unpainted after that. Like they just let it ride. If you were to go down range and paint after every single heat that came through, it would be so long of a reset that it's not possible to run. So they just keep it as is, which is fine. I mean, you can see them plain as day. That wasn't the issue, but I get what you're saying. Like, could you maybe then see an impact if it was painted? But I think even the capabilities of like the spotting, like that would be really intense to try to like really look for. So yeah, that's tough. It's just
what's the solution there? Is there a solution, or it's just going to be a challenge that comes with the sport?
Yeah, good question. I mean, pros and cons. So like this is the only like trouble spot with shooting steel at distance and like needing a spotter. And then how do you
Confirmation of hit.
Yeah, and like how do you arbitrate that? Because
Yeah.
it's my word versus the judges. There's no one there to like you can't get done and be like, I hit them all. And it's like, okay, well, what proof do you have? Right. And that makes it
maybe competitors will start coming with like video cameras. You know what I mean? Like have someone be like, hey, film my target. You know,
well, Dave has that one that goes through the scope, the camera that goes through, and he just records himself shooting, and it confirms it right there.
Yep, Tacticam, I think is what they're called, and
that's
actually
probably an expensive piece of equipment, though.
Probably, I do have an awesome friend from the gym who came out. She's a shooter as well, and she had the pair of binos, and you like set the camera up behind it. So she videoed my heat. So she videoed all the girls' targets for that heat, so that if we wanted to go arbitrate it after, we could. I didn't have that issue, luckily. But then you pose the question too of like, okay, if this heat has the Tacticam and they can arbitrate, but the other heats don't have it, like, is that still fair? So that's a tough one to go with as well. I think the solution is to shoot steel as little as possible and probably within ranges that you don't have to have much question on if you hit it or not.
What else would you shoot if you don't shoot steel?
Paper.
So then everyone goes up there every time.
And that's the hard part, because I just said to go and paint them downrange at 570 would take a lot of time. So if they
is hanging paper that hard?
No, it's the travel distance. So they have like side by sides in these little like Volcon brats that they use to go and reset targets, but it takes time to go down range and take all the paper off and then restaple it up and then come back. And if you have too much reset time, then the workout has to be shorter to fit the time domain to stand the schedule for the day.
And you can't just sit somebody down range to reset targets.
Yeah, like you have to make sure everyone's clear and done with the workout first and then go reset it. And depending on the layout of the range, like that downrange spot could align with a different downrange spot. So like that other stage would have to be technically paused shooting when you went downrange too. So yeah, the reset is complicated in that. The cool thing about shooting steel when you're shooting it at distance is that it does respond, which kind of a missed opportunity on those steel since they didn't respond. The only response that we got was the green flash. It would have been cooler, in my opinion, if we shot something like maybe circular and hanging or square and hanging. It doesn't matter the shape, but that like if I hit the left side, it's going to turn in a certain way. And I'd be like, whoa, I hit the left side. I think I need to move my hold over a little bit so it hits center. You know, if it doesn't move, then I center punched it. That's a really fun part about shooting steel at distance in competition is you can be a thinker and analyze what's happening to help dictate your hold. Whereas you can imagine if I had to shoot paper at that same distance, it's not responding. So I'm just trusting my hold is correct, that I'm calling the right amount of wind at said distance. And I could literally shoot them all and with the same wind call and be wrong and get a 0 on that target. So but if I shot steel, I could be like, I'm missing, I can adjust and then stay there. So there's a lot of pros of doing it too that make it a lot more fun for us as shooters. There's a lot to consider with it to make it be fair at the end of the day.
I guess the biggest thing is you want to take the judges out as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's kind of the nature of the sport in general, right? Like we intentionally don't do movements that require judges to verify movement standards. Like we're not doing a clean and jerk where you must lock out your arms overhead and the bar must be above your body line. It's like you're going to move the bar in the front rack this distance, and then you have to move it overhead in this distance. And if I want to go arms bent, I can.
Right.
It's over my head.
Yeah,
but
smart.
no one's going to. They're going to lock it out because it's energy efficient.
Right. And if a bag has to go over this thing and be on that side of the line, and then over this thing on that side of the line.
Exactly. So
yeah, that's smart.
In that way, it's like you don't have to know anything to judge the standard. It's very, very simple to meet. You did or you did not meet the standard. Like I got it over or I didn't.
How many days? How many days was the competition?
This was 3. So regionals are 2, nationals are 3.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
And in all 15 events span those days, what time do you start on Friday?
So these events, man, they're tough because you have to play with daylight hours. And right now we just had that this shift in daylight savings time or whatever. So the sun comes up at like 6 a.m. I want to say, and sets at like 6 p.m. ish. So we woke up at like 4 a.m. each day. You have to be at the range at like 5:45 ish to get a parking spot, get settled, and then the main brief is at 6:20. And then the first athletes begin their first stage at like 7. So it's really early.
And so that takes a while to warm up that early in the morning. Everyone's physically warming up like crazy.
Oh, I laugh because like not many people warm up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, the stage design, I don't know if this is just from the early days of tactical games, if they like started doing this because people weren't warming up, but like the workouts usually have warm up built in, depending on the stage. Like if you're going to get to a really heavy thing, you never really start with the super heavy thing. Usually you build up to it. Yeah. For example, like 5 sandbag over at a lightweight, 3 at a medium weight, and then 1 at a heavyweight each time that you're at the rig. So you get like a little built-in warm up at least. But there's a lot of things that you have to prepare for a stage. It's not like CrossFit where, okay, I'm going to go do DT. I need to do hip halo, crossover symmetry, like hit a few of each movement, make sure I do my barbell complex, add weight, go. It's like, I have to load out all my magazines, make sure that make sure I have the right holds for my rifle shooting, whatever distance I'm at.
What's a hold?
So for instance, if I'm zeroed at 5,200, which means like when the bullet comes out, it goes like this. So like it crosses my line of 0, like where my optic is. Like
the scope. You're saying the scope.
Yeah, at like 50 yards, and then it goes up, and then it comes back down and crosses again at 200 yards. So if I was shooting at 100 yards in the middle, it's impacting higher than my line of sight. So if I was like shooting 100 yards at this rifle target, I'm gonna be like, all right, I think I'm gonna hit like 4 inches high, so I'm gonna hold this far low at this style of target. Like you're thinking through all these things with shooting and like getting all your gear ready. Maybe, you know, oiling up your guns, making sure that they're working correctly. Figuring out my physical setup of like where my mags are going to go on my body because I'm keeping them on for this stage or not. That like, so all of these things to consider distract from actually warming up. So the warm-ups, I would say across the board for most people are pretty minimal. And I always bring a hip halo out and do that, and like maybe some bands if I need it. But for the most part,
hip? I don't even know what a hip halo is.
Hip halo. Savon.
You know what a hip
halo is. Such a CrossFit thing. It's that red band that goes around just above your knees, and you do like some lateral side steps and like.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, hip halo.
Okay, now I know.
Okay.
I think I even own some of those.
Obviously a hip and core warm up. So anyways, just a simple thing you could bring anywhere to warm up. So that's why I do those. Make sure my glutes are firing, core is on and stuff. But the warm up physically is pretty minimal. And you just kind of first round warm up it for the most part.
And when does the day end?
We did our last event on Friday at like 6 p.m. We were supposed to.
That's a 15-hour day.
Yeah, it's really long days. That's kind of the trouble of nationals, or like something that is a low key, very significant that people don't consider is 3 days of that all day at the range, minimal sleep. It adds up for sure. So
having to load those mags all day, like every time you shoot a mag, you got to reload it.
You don't have someone do it for you. So let's say you finish event 1, you don't get to go lay down in a cot and just eat.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So after you finish the event, you have to be the athlete judge for the person behind you.
Oh, shit.
You stay out there. So usually you get done working out and you're like kind of sauced a little bit, and you have to come back to life and put your gear off to the side.
At the games, these guys are like, I went back to my hotel and showered, ate, and then came back in between every event.
No wonder people are missing shots on targets. They're all tired.
Yeah, so it's you don't have that pleasure. You have to get yourself back to coherency very quick and just, put your stuff to the side and then go be the athlete judge for the next person. And like I said, the judging is very simple, right? It's not like you're expending a ton of energy, but you do have to be present and be there and counting what does need to be counted. And that can be a really hard thing to stay on top of nutrition because like you said, you're not just going back and taking care of yourself right away. You need to bring water with you. If you need to go back and eat immediately after that. And the time just goes by so fast. So like your group goes to a stage. So there's 14 stages, right? and you're squatted with a group of 6, I want to say, like groups within that. So my squad of 6 groups goes to stage 1, and there's a brief to start the schedule. And the brief, they tell us what's going to happen in the workout, just like a CrossFit brief. And any questions are taken. And then all of the groups will go through that workout before we as a group move to the next stage. We brief, we all go through it. And when other groups are going, that's when you can rest. So, but you're going to be judging the heat behind you as well. As that flows throughout the day, you end up losing a lot of time in between to relax and take care of yourself and do nutrition and all that good stuff. Like there's not a lot of chill. The day is pretty busy in general. So you might finish working out, judge, and then very short break to go stop, put your stuff down, and then you go to the next brief. And then you might have a little bit of time. So it's easy to get distracted and not take care of yourself. And if your nutrition and stuff fails on day 1, you're going to be feeling that on day 3. So you just have to be more diligent with your time and making sure you're not forgetting those things.
You won by like 200 points?
No, like 100.
No? 100 points? You had like 11. Do you know what your final points were? Like 1,100 and something?
Well, they didn't update the scores after the final event, but that would have added more points for me. So that's why I say it was over 100, because I went into that with like 90 something.
Why didn't they do that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I got to keep bugging him about that, because me and Hepner were kind of joking back and forth about who could, after we were both in the lead on day 1, we were like, well, who can win by more of a lead? And I won by more of a lead. So, there he is. Who ended up winner overall, you or me. And when you say Jacob, you can tell them how much you aspire to be like me. Thanks.
Hey, are the boys talking to each other out there? I didn't see the boys event, but there was a commentator out there with Lauren Khalil, by the way, who was great. The other girl was great. She was saying some funny shit.
Yeah.
She was talking about having to squeeze your butt cheeks to hold your pee in, and she was saying some funny shit when I was listening. But do the boys? She said that the boys are actually talking to each other, gabbing at each other when they're out there.
The boys are great shit talkers for sure. Yeah. See,
while they're actually competing, like to the lane next to them.
Yeah. Well, maybe not as much when they're actually going, but like the before and after, and just the lighthearted nature in general with the guys, I feel like is really fun to watch. They're all homies in real life, and so they can find a lot of joy in the competitive nature between one another. And I personally get the fun of that with Jacob, because he'll be like, well, who can win by the most? And we'll have like challenges between him and I, which is fun. It's just something added that like, even it's for me, it helped me not get too complacent too. Cause I was like, all right, well, I'm winning, but I want to beat Jacob by a lot.
Yeah. You want to be the best shooter out there, boy or girl.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just keeps it fun, keeps it lighthearted.
The criticism I'd heard about the tactical games in the past was that it was too heavy on the fitness.
Okay. Well,
thoughts on that?
Yeah. So this year there was like 350 points on the table in shooting alone.
Okay.
We had.
So that's 33%. And then probably like 33% then on, I'm thinking if there were 1,000 points roughly. And then were the other 33% on fitness and shooting, and then the other 33% were just on fitness?
I'm guessing that a little bit more favored the fitness and shooting, because we only had 2 fitness only events, and we had more than that of shooting only events. We had 2 2-gun stages, 2 aggregates. So that's 4 right there. And then another aggregate. So that's 5 shooting only events, I believe. That probably checks out. And then fitness only, we had a run. And then we had the thing with the strength erg, the C2 strength erg. I think those were the only 2 fitness only events. Yeah.
I'm a little embarrassed to say this because we had such a thorough talk last time, but after watching it, I watched around stage 15 and I think I want to say stage 7, and it's basically CrossFit with a gun. I really enjoyed it because you basically have to be a good CrossFitter.
I would tend to agree with you on that. I think that the things that are different.
Let me just throw one more thing. Anyone who says that they're training for that and not doing CrossFit, it's like saying, would be like for me, someone to say High Rocks isn't a CrossFit workout. It's like, hey, I think you're lying, or you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think there's a lot of crossover. The things that are missing are high level skills, which I would love if we got to bring those in, like handstand walking, wall walks, wall balls, bar muscle ups. I would get down with that. But it's just, those are all movements that you need judges for the most part. So, and
but you could do Grace and it's a CrossFit workout, and you could do a 5K time and it's a CrossFit workout, and you could do, I mean, it just looks so obvious for the first time to me. I was like, oh shit, they're CrossFitting out there, and then they're shooting shit while they're doing CrossFit.
Yeah, it is very similar.
Which is cool, which I thought was really cool. It made me feel like it's like a sister organization, or like it felt like I was actually watching a CrossFit event, to be honest. Like, and I say that in a positive way. Yeah,
for sure. And I think the negative connotation that people probably hold about like this sport is CrossFit with guns, like there's not high level skill.
What would be negative about that?
Well, so mil LEO training, it doesn't really need like the high level skill. You don't need to do muscle ups and stuff like that, right? Handstand walking, which is the roots of the competition, the tactical games, right? Like it was meant and made probably originally for like the tactical community. People are actually doing this stuff for their real jobs and see the crossover in these movements for their real jobs. So like when they're training for the tactical games, they're really training for their life, for their job, but they also get to do this fun competition that goes along with it. So if it were to morph into something more true to CrossFit style, it would kind of get away from the natural roots of the sport, in my opinion. Maybe
I don't think you need handstand walking though or bar muscle ups. Or I mean, bar muscle ups I could see, but you don't need ring muscle ups or handstand walking or crossover
running,
double unders,
single unders.
Yeah, I don't think you need any of that for it still to be CrossFit at all.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that in affiliates most of the time anyway. Like people are going into affiliates and they're not doing handstand walks, they're not doing wall walks, they're not doing muscle ups. Like that's still CrossFit all the same. I think that's how I would see it. Just I think that the military and law enforcement, by and large, if you're not a CrossFitter and you work in those fields, you have some sort of negative connotation about doing CrossFit, and those people somehow still train in a CrossFit-y manner. Like they're doing some sort of like functional fitness performed at very whatever.
They're in denial.
Exactly. They're in complete denial. They're like, oh, I'm doing HIIT training, dog. You're like,
yeah.
Where do you think HIIT training came from, you fucking moron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think they're, the 100% they're in denial, but you're right. They don't need muscle ups. They don't need pistols.
It's CrossFit. It's just not high skill CrossFit.
You're doing like strongman stuff. Like you get to do the sandbag lifts and it's just a mixed modality CrossFit workouts. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
With the clock being the determining factor of the winner.
Yeah.
And accuracy and
that's the other thing. CrossFit has a hard time testing accuracy, in my opinion. Wall balls is like their greatest argument to that. Like you have to, and I'm like, this is not really the same.
It's really hard to hit the target, okay, Jenay?
I'm like, is that accuracy? I mean, so this sport really does test that on like such a legitimate level that I think it kind of adds to the CrossFit methodology in that sort of way as well.
At what point do you think you guys start using night vision?
It's so expensive. Shoot.
I know it is. It is insane. It's like a whole nother gun setup, basically.
I think we already get the criticism that we're a bunch of LARPers, and that would make it a lot worse.
What's a LARPer?
Live action role player.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're like playing like they're in the military. I mean, most of them are probably military, law enforcement, or former anyway, but that's fun.
What about moving targets? Are there any moving targets?
Good question. We have had a moving target called a marathon target. It is, imagine like a mannequin body from like knees up that is on a little motorized roller thingy, and we shot that for long range. They have shot it close before too, I guess, at a different event where they shot pistol and like this marathon target dude was coming up to you and you were like shooting it with a pistol, which I heard was like playing zombies in real life. That sounded kind of fun.
That's awesome.
But I've only shot rifle with it. So with a moving target at distance, it just becomes a lot of math. Like how much do you have to lead? Or a lot of just like death by volume. Like you just start mag dumping until it goes down. Depends on who you are, I guess.
These are cool. These are the marathon dudes.
Spray and pray, baby.
Yeah, those are the marathon targets. So shooting those at distance when they're turned to the side is quite difficult because their body width is not very big. But if you shoot them straight on, obviously you have a lot more surface area to work with. So it's not
those can like articulate like where they're going, right? Like they can turn and rotate and move.
They can, but when we see them in competition, is there one in the car or something?
I don't know that.
That was scary. I don't like
weird.
that.
Okay, yeah. I heard that they shot pistol like that at the last event.
Oh, that's sick.
At one of the regionals. Kind of fun. Kind of freaky.
Yeah, that is freaky.
But when we see them at long range, they're on a set pattern. So they will program them to move between, say, a 15-foot range back and forth, and you have to hit it sometime in that zone. So it's not just like they're randomly driving around out there.
Right, right.
That would be cool too. Yeah. And then
Those
they
are
just kind of
crazy.
fall over like that when you hit them.
What are these called? Marathon guys?
Marathon targets is what I know them as. Marathon, I think, is the brand, and they have like partnered with Tactical Games on a couple events and brought them out to events to let us shoot them. I believe they do a lot of work with military law enforcement primarily. So them coming out for a sport was such a pleasure because us civilians probably never get the opportunity to shoot something like that.
Look at that's a car and with the there's no driver in there.
They must have to like really program that. That seems crazy.
It's like an RC car but bigger.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, something unique that, like I said, I never would have done unless I had the opportunity to in the sport. So it was really cool of Marathon to come out and allow us to shoot those a time or two. We shot them last year at Nationals.
Do they let you guys use lasers?
Like a laser rangefinder sort of thing. It's just not necessary. There's no need for any of it. I don't even know if it's in the rules or not, but I've never seen anyone use a laser.
It wouldn't help to put a red dot on the target?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like especially if you're doing like a pistol close range or something like that, so that way you don't have to like register your sights.
Yeah,
I guess you guys are using red dots, aren't you?
Yeah, red dots on our pistol. So although it's not physically on the target, I mean, we perceive it as on the target. And I was just, it made me smile because I was like, well, my pistol red dot is like going like this anyways. So whether it's doing that for my eye or on the target, it's still going to be going like this. So it doesn't matter either way.
All right, good point. Good point.
Yeah. But I don't know. That must be in the rules or something. I don't know enough about that. But they do use like laser rangefinders in the Tactical Games Sniper Challenge, like the long range match. So like it kind of like sits on your optic or near your optic. But it's not like it puts a laser visually on the target as you're shooting. It's like it does the rangefinder function and tells you how far the target is, and then you shoot it. So that's different, I think, than what you're imagining.
Yeah. Thank you for pointing out that distinction. Oh, Rambler's having a full blown. Wow,
he's tweaking. Nice.
You love that return. We should text Rambler. You would love the way I text. That's how I text. Any drama building up, Jenay, to the event? Like you had a cold, or your husband broke up with you, or he told you he was pregnant, or one of your guns didn't show up in time. Any crazy build up to the event for you?
Not this year. Nothing too crazy. I mean, I was feeling very good, very healthy and fit going in, which is honestly not usual for me. I think, with most high level athletes, you're like getting into competition, you're going to ride the line a little bit between doing too much and peaking. So this year I felt like I stayed in the healthy zone coming in. So physically I felt really, really good. And that was a lot to do with Taylor's guidance on that.
You're doing Sentinel.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not doing the Sentinel regular track. Taylor is individually programming for me.
Oh, that's cool. And he loves the sandbag. You guys must be two peas in a pod.
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely had a lot of really valuable insight for me as a competitor this year, and I've been working with him maybe since March, I want to say, roughly. So like a very significant, like he shaped me this year for sure.
I'm
And
surprised he didn't come out. Did he try to come out?
I think that there was other events going on that weekend too. Was
Okay.
he at Mayhem for?
I know he's got a ton of shit going on, and now he's got a baby on the way, but I could see him totally coming out to that because he's pretty active with that stuff.
Yeah, I did tell him he could come, obviously, but he didn't. He was able to come out when I competed in South Carolina.
He did.
Yeah, him and Bryson drove and saw the event, which I thought was so funny. He shows up and like sees us doing this ski erg and long range shooting from on top of Connex boxes. So like 4 Connex boxes high. There's
Wow.
there, and then we're like shooting down off of them.
Is that scary up there?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you feel them moving?
High.
You feel the boxes moving?
Not really.
Okay.
No, not bad. So we shot off of that, but I remember him being like, wow, this is like Call of Duty. And I was like, yeah. So
by the way, you don't have to say him and Bryson. That's redundant. We know.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah. So it was cool to have him out to that one. But yeah, it was super helpful to have him on board this year. And he helped me peak at the right time. So like physically, I felt really good going in. And then outside of that, I mean, I had one minor like gun issue that we figured out right before. There's always something that comes up like that we were using our gear, you get into the point at the end of the year where like you've been using stuff out a lot. So I was shooting a lot. So things start to come up, but it was nothing crazy that we couldn't quickly take care of. And yeah, it was nice to not feel super stressed about anything going in.
Any new gear that you tested for the first time out on at the event that you were nervous about? Anything like that? Yeah,
I did switch optics literally like a week and a half before the event. So that was a pretty big deal. But, I was told once in CrossFit, like just be an athlete and you can get so tied up and, well, this is different. And like, this works a little differently here. At the end of the day, it's still an optic. It has the center reticle. The ballistics are all the same. Like you just look somewhere that like, look at something that like looks a little different and just be like, okay, it looks a little different, but all the stuff is the same. So for me, it was just a moment to be an athlete and, adjust quickly to something different, not let that be a stressful thing. It had its benefits, which is why I switched, obviously. And I'm not mad that I did. I think I could have done really well with the other optic that I ran also. The 1-8 I ran prior. But it was something
Why did you switch?
A few reasons. I mean, shooting at RPR, there's a lot of long range out there. So I went to a higher.
What's RPR?
Sorry, that's the range that we shot at.
Okay.
So Revelry Peak Ranch. There's a lot of long range capabilities out there, and it's a really difficult place to shoot. Lots of wind, lots of varying wind. So having a little bit more magnification to kind of like see impacts at distance is helpful. Because if you're missing, you might be able to see, okay, I'm missing just off the right edge of the plate. I just need to hold over a little bit here. Whereas only zooming into 8, you are a little bit more limited on what you can see downrange. And then we see certain barricades and you just got to play the game of the year. So each year in tactical games has been slightly different with the physical movements we see, with the shooting aggregates that you see, the barricades that come out, and you play the game of the year that you're in. And this year, this optic seemed like a good switch based on the given.
So you've heard one of the workouts that made you think, maybe I should switch optics.
No, they did announce a couple beforehand, but no, I didn't. It was more like the trends that I'd been seeing throughout the year.
Okay.
And the things that we've been using throughout the year. I was like, this scope seems like it could be a advantage to have, even if small, which it was if anything, a small advantage. So that's the one I used to run, is the ATACR 1-8.
Jenay, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Do they have any, CrossFit will have, or CrossFit events will have like a max lift. Do they ever do anything like that in tactical games where they're like, okay, this target's at 300 yards. Okay, everyone shoots. If you hit it in 3 tries, you get to move to 500 yards. and then it just keeps going out further, and like, instead of a max lift, a max distance shoot. Do they ever do stuff like that?
That's cool. So one thing I think
Thank
of,
you. I thought it was pretty cool too. Thank you. Just give us that program next year.
It's actually a really stupid
Oh, wait,
idea,
sorry.
so-
Hold on. Your president sucks dick and your Homeland Security is based out of Israel. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And you live in Nazi Canada, and you get butt fucked by Muslims. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I like to engage with my favorite audience.
All good. So we have seen long range stages like that in the past, where you have to go in a certain order of based on exceeding distance. So if you couldn't hit a 300-yard target, you don't get to shoot the further targets, and then you would take the penalties of the further targets from there. So yes, we've seen that in that format before, but it's been a
Damn,
while.
I thought I was coming up with something revolutionary.
And
Because
then
it gives for a pretty good opportunity to do some crazy shit. Like, what's the furthest target you guys have ever seen in a competition? 570 sounds far, but have you ever seen anything like even crazier than that?
6 something. I think we've shot 650 before.
And when
But
the guy briefs it, he's like, it will be 650. Does everyone kind of go and look around at each other? Like when they say the final deadlift bar is 540 pounds at the games, everyone's like, oh.
Okay, so kind of like, so I would say most people don't go like, ooh, because a lot of people in the sport are very interested in data with long range. So a lot of people are probably like, let's go. That's awesome. I'm excited to gap the field on shooting 670. Of course, there are also some people that are like, I have no idea what my hold is at 650. But you're limited by your weapon system more than you are with like a 1 rep max deadlift, where kind of the human capability, anything is possible sort of thing. I guess there's of course still a limit, but it's much more vague and dependent on the person, versus everyone is shooting the same caliber of rifle for the most part, like a 223 or 5.56, and the ballistics of that bullet only go so far before you can't really go any further and have a significant impact, because like the ballistics just like they change and the bullet's too unstable. So it's not like I can predict where it's going as good, or even like, for instance, at 650, I have a very calculated hold that I would use, right?
What do you mean? Like how you have it in your hand? How you have it in your hands? What do you mean by hold?
Good question. So it's like imagine a reticle, like the center crosshair. So like this, right? And the center crosshair is like 200 yards, right? Because I said I zeroed at 52.
Okay.
And then the little hash marks beneath it each means
Okay.
it's like 300, 400, 500.
So at some point, if it was so far away and your reticle, listen to me, Caleb, listen how smart, what a quick learner I am. You would have to take the actual target out of the scope.
Yeah, like it just your bullet is not capable of shooting at that sort of distance at certain points. So with our sport, like you would only shoot to a certain limit, and then after that, it's like it's not really relevant. What would be a better idea is to then shoot it for time.
But let's say that right there you had that was your reticle, and it was at 1,000 yards. You would basically have to put it at 600, and then lift the gun up a little bit and guesstimate.
I mean, I don't even know if it's capable of shooting at 1,000 yards. Probably. I'm assuming you would dial your scope so that maybe the 600 is the center point. So you would like change. It's essentially changing the zero. So I would like.
I want to see it. I think that's great for I think that's great for media. Just because then they can say, yeah, I won the 1,000-yard event. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Like you can change these dials.
Yeah.
For your holds.
Okay, so you zero it to something outside. Okay, you just change the zero. It's kind of like when you're weighing weed on the electronic scale, and you put the bag on first and hit what's that called? To zero it out.
Tear.
Yeah. Tear. Yeah, you tear the bag so that you still give the guy the weed he wants.
Like a new zero.
Yeah, I mean the bananas he wants. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't think like going past a certain distance is the way to go. It's like get to that distance and then do it faster, do it with smaller targets versus doing it further.
All right, if you say so. I like Sevon is a twink. Okay, thank you.
Nice.
You get the final word. Oh, I always treat my guests well. I don't even know what a twink is.
I don't know either.
But I like it.
Very cool.
They were suggesting in the commentary on stage 15 that you were basically behind the whole stage. You were chasing Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
and then they suggested that maybe or were thinking that maybe you had a gun jam. Did you have a gun jam in 15?
My magazine was messed up. A of all, I knew I was in the lead going in and who I needed to, like, who was in second, which the lanes are lined up in order of where you're at. So I didn't need to be a hero in the last event. I needed to just try to shoot the stage clean, not DQ, like come home nice and easy from there. Of course,
What could cause a DQ?
So there's something called a stage DQ and then a match DQ. Stage DQ meaning I get a 0 on that stage. Match DQ meaning my weekend is over. And the stage DQ things that you could do is like your gun coming out of your holster, your pistol coming out of your holster. So the pistols are cleared at the line. Like you're never running a hot pistol in your holster when you're doing a stage like that. So if it came out, it's not necessarily like it's unsafe to anyone around, but it's more of the premise. Like,
yeah, I get it.
Should have your stuff in control. That's a rule. So for instance, when we're doing wall get overs and we have a ruck on and you're getting over this wall and like your holster is really close to all of that stuff, you could accidentally disengage it. And then
I saw Schertz's whatever her belt thing when she would go under would clip that bar.
Yeah. Usually if it just hits the end of it, like the holster is strong enough that it's not going to pull it out or anything. Like there's a button that you have to press to bring your pistol out for most people. But nonetheless, like something that you think about when it's, you know, like I've got the ruck on and it's moving around. I'm like, oh, just be extra sure. So that's an example of a stage DQ. A match DQ would be I shot the barricade. I had an accidental discharge or a negligent discharge, meaning the gun fired when I didn't intend it to. Maybe I was clearing my weapon and I
Did
thought
that happen at all this weekend? Anyone get a stage or a match?
Yeah, there were a lot of stage and match DQs this weekend.
Wow.
So that weekend, I should say. There was like 10 match DQs, 24 stage DQs, I want to say. There was a lot. We had a lot of barricaded shooting. Like we had this aggregate which aggregate means like a floater in CrossFit. So it was like a short stage. It was like 30 seconds long. And you had 5 different ports and you took a rifle and you like went in one port, shot one round at the plate, moved to the next one, shoot, move to the next one, shoot for 5, reload, and then go back through them. And like, if you had a really big gun, like a suppressor at the end of it, you couldn't like get through the barricade. So you shot, like people would shoot behind it and then shoot through the barricade because your optic is on top of the
gun. Shit.
You could look
mean like the barricade that you're supposed to be putting your gun on, you shoot that instead?
Yeah, like you shoot through it. That's something unfortunately that could happen. So just giving you an example of like what a match.
How the fuck would that? Okay, so there's a hole.
Mm-hmm.
And you put your barrel of your gun in there, but you're saying some people the barrel doesn't get through and they shoot the actual that thing that they're supposed to rest their gun on?
Yeah, so like you could like hover behind the barricade.
What's the barricade made of?
Oh gosh, like some sort of plywood material.
So there's no ricochets there?
No, like it's not gonna. You almost wouldn't know it happened until it got done, and then you'd be like, "Whoa, there's a hole in that barricade."
Oh my god! So some people don't put their barrel through the hole. Do you always put your barrel through the hole?
I do. I do not run a suppressor, and if you have a thicker suppressor, then going through certain barricades could be an issue. So instead, they might hover back behind it.
I want to see that. I want to see someone fuck that up.
Wouldn't it be smart to not run a suppressor in something like this?
Yeah, why would you use
one? You're outside and everybody's got ear pro on all the time, and you know you're gonna have to shoot in some sort of portage.
Does it reduce the kick?
It does. Yeah. So how I was saying earlier, like you play the game based on what you're seeing trend wise that season. All season, we have seen slightly bigger barricades than the one, like wider holes than the ones that we saw at Nationals. And we weren't using a whole lot of barricades for speed, I would say. We were doing a lot more like freestanding shooting, like shooting off of tank traps. Yeah, that's one of the like rifle barricades, but that one has really, really big holes. This one was a lot smaller than that. So Anyways, you're playing the game based on the season. This season, it seemed like it was leaning towards more advantageous to have a suppressor because we can't run certain muzzle devices that would decrease recoil. So, but you can run a suppressor. So, with that said, decreasing the recoil could increase your shot cadence. Say I'm shooting on a tank trap, and I have one gun that like recoils a lot. Then you're like going to be slower to be on it. You might anticipate it more because the bang is more explosive versus having a suppressor. If it's like pew, 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 like your shot cadence is going to be a lot faster. So I think a lot of people showed up to nationals with suppressors, anticipating that, based on the game we've seen all year, it would probably
have big holes.
Yeah, and it would probably lean towards being more of a pro. But at the end of nationals, this, I don't know, just happened to be like it ended up seeming to be more of a disadvantage to have one based on the rifle barricade that we did, and we ran with the rifle. There wasn't a lot of times that we were shooting that I was like, dang, I wish I had a suppressor right now.
Is it embarrassing to get DQ'd from the match?
Inevitably, I think anyone who's done it has been highly embarrassed. Yes, but
because that's like a fuck up. Like now you're like, I mean, basically what they're saying is like you're a danger.
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
that definitely is true.
I mean, you're a danger to the people around you.
When I went to a shooting school, there was a thing. It was called a dead man's gun. So if you ever had to present your gun at a target and you went to shoot it and there was no round loaded in the chamber, you had a dead man's gun, DMG, and so you had to run around the berm and there was like a bell and an iron like pipe and you had to hit it 7 times saying, I'm a retard, I'm a retard, I'm a retard.
Wow.
And then run back and then you finish out whatever you're doing. So yeah, that's a big fucking deal. If you start like negligently discharging, you don't have a round in your rifle, like, yeah, it's a big deal. I think it's kind of embarrassing.
U.S. military,
it builds character.
U.S. military training. You ever have to run around and yell you're a retard, Jenay?
No.
Good.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. One, I mean, we're pushing the limits of speed and like performance. So I think I would like to think like inevitably there is some risk. And I would say that a lot of people get caught in the DQ game because you're just going fast and you're trying to win the competition. Like it's a freaking competition.
Yeah.
So I know, for instance, of one person that like they loaded 11 into their magazine. It was supposed to be 10. They went to clear their rifle. They dropped the magazine and then engaged the trigger, which should have been on an empty chamber, but there was one in the chamber and it went bang and they were still pointed downrange at the target. So it wasn't necessarily like anyone was in trouble by that, but it was technically they didn't know that they were empty and they should have looked at the chamber really quick, then did the whole clearing procedure. And that happened.
That must make your heart sink. You think you're shooting just to show that your chamber's clear and a bullet comes out. You must be like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah, it definitely, I mean, 100%. And especially when you know it's a DQ, your heart just absolutely sinks. And then also, I mean, in our sport, so many people have been DQ'd or known someone that DQs at least once in their life, that there's a lot of grace for it from the competitors. Not like it's okay that you did that. Like everyone can get on board with like, that was unsafe. You need to be better next time and that never happen again. But people come around those people and are like, hey, we still love you, bro. We're so sorry that happened.
And great lesson for you. Ideally that will never happen again. You'll be OCD as fuck now.
Right. Yeah. So it's not like they get shamed in the community. They are still very loved and respected in the community. And I would
keep a DQ leaderboard. Is there a DQ leaderboard at tactical games? That would be amazing.
No, I don't think there is. And
they should do that. Just a humiliation.
A humiliation.
Wall of shame.
Yeah. Wall of shame.
Yeah. And I mean, if you haven't DQ'd in tactical games, you might have DQ'd in a different sport. Sometimes it's a genuine accident. Like if your pistol fell out of your holster and you got a stage DQ, it's not like you were trying to be unsafe. Like, unfortunately, your gear failed you and you need to fix that problem with your gear. There's other ones that are not necessarily safety things. Like if you don't do a stage with a sling, technically that's a stage DQ because it's part of the equipment that's required for the sport. So there's a wide range of reasons that people might get DQ'd. I don't know all of the details about like the stage DQs of that weekend. I know that
So
nationals.
you could have had an equipment failure and lost in one of the events and not been the champion.
In theory, like say if my holster failed and my pistol fell out, I could have gotten a stage DQ and then probably not been the champion, which makes you really, really disciplined about your gear beforehand, testing it, making sure it's good. I had the opportunity to switch holsters like closer to nationals, and I was like, screw that, I'm not risking it. Like this holster I've been running has been good for me all year. It's been very reliable, and that is more important to me than like a sponsor money that I might get from running this other holster. I'd rather take the security of knowing that my stuff works. So yeah, that's tough, but it's not like a big shame thing that happens. It's more of like we need to uphold a really high level of safety in the sport in order for the sport to continue. And I don't think that it can continue at the level it does unless you do, enforce DQs like that.
Yeah, hell yeah,
100%,
hell yeah.
See, I mean, that's the case with gun sports in general.
Yeah. CrossFit games, they get a little carried away with safety first sometimes, but this shit needs to be safety first.
Yeah. And usually say it was like a 180 violation, meaning at the shooter, when you're shooting, there's a 180 line. If, you go like this with your arms out to the sides, like 180 is in front of me, right? So if you were to break the 180, meaning I turned up range from my firing area, then that's a match DQ. When you shoot certain 2-gun stages,
that's called sweeping someone, Caleb. I know that term.
Oh, nice. Good job.
Someone's next to you.
Yeah.
So
don't sweep the guy next to you.
On certain 2-gun stages.
I know football and gun shit. Go ahead.
Man, shit.
There might be a target that is at your side, and it's maybe like a DQ trap, meaning I could potentially go over 180 to shoot that target if I'm a little ahead of myself in my movement. And it's a tough line to go with. Like the sport needs to be significantly like difficult. You can't always set up people in a cush way. Like there's got to be some challenge. Like at nationals, there's a 2-gun stage that like had the opportunity to DQ really easily if you overwalked a certain target and you had to like turn your body and then be like at 180 or above it. And there's a certain level of like, okay, it's nationals, like you have to do some hard things, but you just make sure. I think our ROs do a good job at the brief too of being like, this spot is a problem. Here's the line that you can go. If you go further than this, I'm going to DQ you. You know what I mean? So like everyone's on the same page going in. And if they fail from there, then it's kind of like getting WOD brain where you're in the moment and you forget some things and you get out of control. And
I tell my wife, if you come in my periphery between 8 and 10 at night, you're getting pregnant. Like just stay behind. Don't even get my periphery. 8 and 10, it's the danger hours.
Different kind of 180.
Yeah, you better watch out. What can you tell me about the malfunction in stage 15? What happened?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I forgot about
That's okay.
that.
No, it's okay.
So my magazine, like this, there's a lot of like red granite style dirt out there. So it's really, really gritty. And it got in my magazine. In my magazine, there's like a spring, and the spring got stuck down low. So when I first inserted the magazine, I was using a shorty one. So the base plate isn't as thick. So like you have to like really slam it home even more than normal because it sits really flush with the end of the pistol. So like I didn't slam it home enough, but I wrapped it and had one in the chamber. I shot one and then my magazine fell out because it wasn't seated all the way.
That's not a DQ?
No, because like my gun's pointed at the target, but like my magazine dropped.
Just checking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then so like the slide locked back because it was empty. And my magazine dropped, and I saw that a bullet had.
This is in the middle of the event?
Yeah.
Oh,
so God. I saw that a bullet came out of my magazine, and I was like, oh, that's not good. There's something wrong with that magazine. So I holstered my pistol because it was clear. And I went to pick up the magazine and grab that bullet, and it like didn't have any tension in there. So that told me that the spring was depressed and not working properly. So I took some of the bullets out, and I was going to put those bullets in a used magazine so that I could shoot those rounds because I didn't want to have to go do 10 weaves or 8 weaves for the bullets.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, screw it. I'll just sit here for the next minute over doing weaves and just reload this magazine. But then I pushed the spring down and it popped back up. So I think that some of that like red dirt was just caught in there and keeping the spring depressed. And once I pressed it, it came back up. I reloaded the bullets and then finished it out and ended up shooting them all. Because that one that fell out, I just put it back in. So
and is your heart racing? Is your heart racing at that point? I mean, you still won the stage, which is crazy. In the final stretch, you won the stage, but is your heart racing then? You're like, shit.
I was rather calm in that one. If it was more of a really intense race, which I've been in that moment before, and
or if it would have been in stage 3, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Then I might have had to work harder to keep my heart rate down. But in those moments, I've seen some awesome shooters just really like work through malfunctions in even other shooting disciplines like 2-gun. And the best thing to do is just to stay as calm as possible and be a thinker. Because if you become too emotional, like you can't think as clearly, right? So kind of learning from what they've done, I've seen other great shooters do in the past, like just try to stay as calm as possible and think, what's the next best thing that I can do to get things working? And it was easy for me to do that in that moment. So I want to recognize that because I didn't have a whole lot of pressure on me. So it was easy to be calm and be a thinker. And if I would have been in a different situation, it would have been harder, but I still know that that's the right thing to do. And I was like proud of that moment that I was like able to quickly figure it out. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool. The DQs, do the boys have more or the girls have more?
I don't know. I need to go back and look through all the DQ situations there. I'm guessing it's pretty equivalent.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I was thinking at first, I bet you the girls have way more. And then I was thinking, no, maybe the guys have more because they're just like jackasses.
I think, with girl shooters, usually they're very slow and they think through things if they're at a stage where they might potentially easily DQ. Like they're still learning things, right? Like usually girls are more humble about slowing down and just being a thinker and doing it right, versus I feel like guys can get a little caught up in the moment and wanting
they know everything, and the women might be a little more analytical is what I ended up with.
I mean, I not to like hate on the guys too much, but
no, but it doesn't work. Just pull the trigger harder.
Yeah, like it's just human nature. Like guys actually want to be bros and go fast, and
like you actually put your finger and fiddled with the spring, a guy would have thrown his gun on the ground or banged it against the barricade.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
that'll get fixed. Did you go to the Poland event?
No, I didn't. And I knew someone that did go, though, one of my fellow competitors in women's elite, and how we were talking about reliability of gear seemed to really matter there because it's not all your own gear. Traveling overseas can be really hard with all of your stuff. So they had to borrow like a lot of their setup. And then this is gear that you haven't tested. So one of the girls who had went, she was borrowing a certain gun setup with a holster, and her gun fell out of her holster. And she was like, man, that was so disappointing because it's not like it was her own or she could have.
And that's your done for the day.
No, that one is a stage DQ. So she took a 0.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But overall, I mean, it's very hard to come back from a 100-point stage DQ.
And how many stages are there in a normal? I know this one had 15, the World Championships, but how many does a normal one have?
Like 8. 8 or 9.
So really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
were you in the lead all weekend?
I think so. Yeah, because I started off well on day 1, so I had a pretty good lead on day 1. I bled points a little on day 2, and then came back on Sunday and had a better day. So, are
you friends with the other girls? What's her name? Lupita and Jordan. Lupe and Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely friends with the other elite girls. I think the weekends are so busy that one of my good friends, Blair, like she was out there competing alongside me, and we like talk outside of the sport a lot, but we didn't spend as much time together at nationals just because there's so much going on that taking care of what you need to as a competitor kind of comes first. But it is nice to, in between stuff, like get to spend time with one another. They're cool girls. There's a lot of really cool people in the elite.
There's a And this is not including the final event.
Correct.
Oh, Lupe didn't end up taking 3rd?
Jordan, I think, was in 3rd going into the last event, wasn't she?
God, look how close they are. So they
went
in there. Oh,
well, that was before the last event. So yeah, Jordan was in 3rd going into the last event.
Okay, so this is the score. This isn't the final ranking here. or it's not, at least it might be the final ranking, but it's not the final points because they went in 1 point apart like that. I remember thinking, holy shit, they're fighting for the podium.
Yes, that is correct.
Wow. Are those all Americans there?
Yes.
And what do the numbers mean next to your names? Like yours has a 4, Jordan has a 2.
So that's arbitrations. That's how many changes in the scoring you had. So if there's an error in scoring and you went and arbitrated against it to have it changed, that's what that means. Or it could be you didn't arbitrate it, they just accidentally entered it wrong on their end and then they fixed it. It'll show up as that, even though you didn't arbitrate it.
Did you have any arbitrations?
I did. I had a few. And realistically, I didn't have to arbitrate them because I still would have won, which is usually what you want to do. Like if you're at a regional or something and, you know, maybe they miscounted a hit or something and you're like already in the lead by 50 points. Why bother them to go and fix that? But with these arbitrations that I had, I was like really proud of the effort that I put out and the score that I had. And then these were so significantly wrong that it gave me like a way worse score. And I was just bummed about that. I was like, that's not true. It doesn't feel right because it wasn't true. So I went and arbitrated them and they were obvious fixes that they just quickly did. But I was like, I earned the score that I got. I want to go and get it.
Yeah, good on you.
Yeah, so I did. And they were just easy fixes. It wasn't like I had to go up there and heckle anything. It was, hey, this was just entered wrong.
And no one's going to expect, like as thorough as you are, you're going to be thorough on how you do everything, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. So if you come out there, you're thorough in everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know about this scoring debacle? It just caught my attention. It's outside of my, obviously my specialty, but do you know about this scoring issue? There was a guy in a shooting competitions who was in charge of scoreboards, and he was changing his scores after the event to make him win. This happened a couple weeks ago. Do you know this story?
No. Do you know what sport it was in?
It's some shooting. It was some shooting sport. I know it was something Dave was involved in, but there was a guy who's in charge. His program is used for calculating wins of events. And this guy would go to shooting competitions and then afterwards change his score so he would win the competitions. It was a crazy story. Yeah. Okay. So that didn't so crazy.
Yeah.
So crazy. That didn't pop on your radar? Okay.
No. We don't even have anything close to the ability to do that.
And in shirts, was she a games athlete?
Yeah, I think she was. I can't remember what year though.
I think I saw her at Del Mar like way back in the day.
It was definitely more in like the OG good days of CrossFit, like when it was really at its peak.
Yeah, and she was crazy fit. I remember she just popped onto the scene and was just tearing shit up.
And Calorina too. She was a regionals athlete, I think, for several years in CrossFit.
And she competed this year?
Yep. Yeah, she recently had a kid. She, I think it was last year or the year before. Man, time flies by so fast. So forgive me for not knowing exactly when. But she went off and had a baby and then came back to the sports shortly after. So did my friend Blair. She just actually competed at Tactical Games Nationals this year. Blair did 11 weeks out from having a baby in the elite division, which is so cool and very inspiring.
There was a woman who was 30 weeks pregnant there?
No, she was 11 weeks out, like after having a baby.
Oh, after. Okay.
Her baby was 11 weeks old.
Oh,
and
wow.
She came and competed in elite. Yeah, it was so inspiring. And then Calorina as well came from CrossFit, was very successful in CrossFit, came to Tactical Games, started shooting more. And then, had an awesome career in Tactical Games, had a baby, and then came back to the sport in elite as well. So
wow,
that's awesome.
Sebi, memory card shortage, heads up. Okay. On your hat, it said, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this right. Galatians 6:14.
Yeah.
And what is that? Why is that on your hat?
So, I mean, this is obviously from Mayhem. This is a Mayhem hat. The Pray hat is from Mayhem. And Rich's thing is Galatians 6:14. He has it obviously tattooed on his body, but I can't remember the exact words of the verse, but it's talking about not boasting in anything but the Lord and what he's done for us. And when I was at Mayhem, I was really like introduced to my faith at a deeper level. And I had like a very profound difference in who I was as a person coming in and coming out of Mayhem, and faith being a very big part of that. And I was super inspired by how they lived out their faith there. And I got that pray hat back then. And thank you. May I never boast except in the cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, through which the world has been crucified to me and I to the world. It's awesome. So, I mean, it reminds me to be humble and to remember that I only have this because of the way that the Lord has blessed me, and that I'm out there to honor him with the skills and talents that I've been given and the people that he's brought into my life at the right times to help shape me into the shooter, the athlete, the person that I am right now, to be able to go out there and do that. And at the end of the day, I hope that it's like not just me that people see when they watch me compete out there, but like, I hope that they see the light of the Lord in me and the amount of amazing people that are behind me and have invested in me that I get to honor by going out there and competing as well and as hard as I can.
And by the way, if you want to hear, we had an incredible conversation the last time Jenay was on that goes into all the details of her journey at Mayhem. It's I really, really enjoyed having you on last time. It was awesome.
Thank you.
If you want to hear all that, listen to that podcast. It's well worth the listen. It's quite a journey. What off season now? Do you guys do off season, or are you all year? Or you just get ready for the next season?
The tagline of the sport is no off season, but
I love it.
So in a literal sense, I mean, the first events are in February of next year. So the off season is very short, like logistically for the tactical games, but you have the freedom to take as long of an off season as you want to. You don't have to compete until whenever you want. I mean, you could do the one right before nationals next year in October area and then go to nationals after that.
Like Gazan did. She, for the CrossFit Games this year, she just shows up at NorCal and just kicks ass and waits to the last minute. And it's hairball. It's hairball, but she did it and it was pretty crazy. Would you ever go to a competition and not be 100%? Like, do you think you could just chill, or is there you put too much pressure on yourself, or you just wouldn't want to do that? Would you ever show up in February with just like, let your fitness drop to like 75% and just go there?
Yeah, it's a really, really hard thing to do, and something I've been challenged in the past, because I had significant strength holes in the past that I knew in the off season I was going to be working on strength and my fitness would fall. I still went to a regional event. There's actually one I'm thinking of that I'll never forget in Florida that was in February, I think, as well. And I got second during that time because I just didn't show up my best. And going into it, we had to remember, like my good friend reminded me, like, hey, this is a training opportunity. It's not nationals, and all that people remember are nationals. So, have the humility to go out there and potentially lose, but get so much out of it in a different way. So I have before. I hate doing it. It's
Does
hard.
it put blood in the water though? Like, basically Tia was unbeatable until she wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, this was, I think 2 years ago now that happened. And yeah, I think it does. For me as a competitor, I feel like it puts blood in the water. I'm like, I don't want them to think that they can beat me. So I don't want to show up not my best potential. And the only reason I guess I would is if I was like fulfilling sponsorship requirements of like, I need to do X amount in a year. So I'm going to have to compete out of my comfort zone in order to make that happen. Or if that was like literally the only time I could go and compete. If it was up to me and I would structure it to where I'm competing when I can show up, where at least I know I'm maybe not 100% peaked, but I can put a very good effort forward, a good testament of where I'm at right now. So to answer you, yes, I would, but I would probably do my best to avoid doing that.
Emotionally, you don't like it.
Yeah, I just can't help it, man. The competitor in me, like I can be humble in that moment and do that if I must, but like I don't want to.
What do you have a plan for this year? Like, did you look at last year and you're like, okay, these are my weaknesses. 2026, this is what I'm going to be addressing.
I don't have like a super firm plan right now. I've been thinking on it a lot in the days following nationals. I am feeling pretty good coming out of nationals compared to last year. I was not in good shape and I had to take time off to recover from injury. And with that in mind, like it makes those earlier ones a little bit more approachable. Like I could just kind of maintain where I'm at right now and do those. But I'm really not sure. I think that it's a long year and I'm not super keen to just kind of like last year spread it out throughout the entire year and do multiple events. That makes for just like a really long season of staying like you can't really take an off season at all in that. So I'm planning on chilling a little bit over the next few weeks. I'm going to go on a little snowboarding trip, I think.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and enjoy some family time over Christmas. And
will you take your dry fire guns with you?
I hope to not touch a gun for at least a few weeks following nationals. The goal is that you shoot.
Will it be will it be hard to leave your house and leave the gun there?
Yeah, it is hard to travel and
hard.
not like bring anything. I feel like,
Yeah.
But like, what if I want to dry fire? Like, what if I want to go shoot?
What if I wake up at 3 a.m. and I just have the urge?
Yeah. And I mean, my family back home, they don't know a lot about competitive shooting, but they do hunt. They do a lot of like bird hunting and fishing and deer hunting. And my dad, especially, he likes to shoot guns. Like we used to go to the range, the indoor range, and like rent guns growing up just because we didn't know a whole lot, but we knew enough. We just want to try stuff out. So if I bring my guns home, then like we could go to the range together. And I think that's really fun bonding to do.
Oh, your dad would love that.
Yeah, super fun. So I'll probably bring them in summary.
What was the weather like there? I saw a bunch of people. It was nighttime. It was Sunday night, and judges and shit were wearing shorts. And was the weather good, even though it was a nighttime event?
Yeah, luckily it was pretty good. It was like 60 to 80 degrees. So a little crisp in the morning, but it was perfect. We were super blessed with good weather. It was supposed to rain and it didn't. And you can imagine on a gun range with rain and there's lots of mud, it is never a good time. So
and would you have done it anyway? Would they keep going through the rain?
Yeah. You do it anyways.
That's crazy. Yeah. And this was in Texas?
Yep, in Texas, which is nice. I mean, it allows for a lot more approachable weather than if we were to do it up north at this time of year.
My most proud moment for you was at 1 hour and 10 minutes and 50 seconds on stage 15. This is when I was like, yeah, this is listen to the commentator here. About 20 seconds in. Here we go.
And yeah, this is where Jenay's pulling forward. She's grabbing her magazines.
She's so calm. That's one thing about Jenay is you'll never see her get frazzled. Since I remember when I first saw her, this new girl, I looked at her and I knew immediately she's a CrossFitter. Like I first time I saw her, I think I was judging her standing behind her something. And I'm like, this girl's a CrossFitter.
Okay, pause. I was standing behind her and I knew she was a CrossFitter. And that made me so proud because when my mom went to the games in 2008, she goes, I've never seen so many butts. And I was like, yeah, CrossFit. Yeah. I love this commentary. I was standing behind her and I knew.
That's awesome.
It's funny how many shots there are. This entire stage is everyone's back. You never even see anyone's face in this event. This whole event is from the back.
Really? That's so funny. I didn't watch didn't watch the final at all, but
they do a really good job at filming this, by the way. I know this can't be easy out in the middle of fucking BFE and nighttime, and it turned out good.
That's awesome. Yeah, they put a lot of work in this year to do these live streams, and Lauren Khalil and one of the media guys, they had this like booth that would roam around with, I think, the men's elite, but they would cover people at different stages because they had cameramen all over the place. So them putting in that work to provide content really helps grow our sport, loops people in that are asking about it. I mean, family members, friends from across the United States that can just tap in and watch a little bit because it's really hard to explain what we do to people. Yeah. And the scoring is weird, so they can't really follow along on the leaderboard. So if they can get that visual and join in on the live stream, man, it's such a game changer for at least my family that's watching back home. And
that's Tulsi Gabbers. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, was she out there?
Yeah, Tulsi and Abraham competed in the intermediate division, which was so during nationals, they have the qualifying divisions, and then you can also, anyone can sign up for the intermediate division. That's a
This guy?
Mhm.
Wow.
I
That's
actually
cool.
have a picture. I have a picture with them. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah,
Did you post
Tulsi.
it?
I don't think I did yet, but Tulsi was she had like the Secret Service people around her, whatever you call them, most of the weekend. But she has been in tactical games for several years, so we've known her for a while, and it's so cool to walk up to her and have a legitimate, like, just friendly conversation. She's so inviting, so cool, and she knows me by name, and I think that's amazing. Like,
That is amazing.
it just makes me
Hey,
feel so honored when she's like, "You're doing so well this weekend. Keep going." And I'm like, "How do you know me? That's amazing."
3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, the first time I had Olivia on the show, I said, "Oh, I saw Tulsi Gabbard commented in your section." She goes, "Who's that?"
Oh,
I
funny.
was like,
Honestly,
"That's awesome."
I think that I first knew of her from tactical games. Like, someone had said, "Oh, Tulsi's out here," and that was before I really knew much about like politics at all. I hadn't even like dived into any of that, and so I just met her as like a friend that I knew did some politics, but I didn't know anything about her. And yeah, it was sweet to see her out there. She got third in the women's intermediate division, so she even got to
wow.
stand on the podium, which was
Oh,
awesome.
that's awesome.
Yeah. My mom was fangirling. She was like, "Can we go take a picture with Tulsi?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go." She's like, "Will you lead the conversation?" I was like, "Yeah." So sweet. She's awesome.
Sick.
Well, congratulations. Third title, tactical games world champion, and I have to assume that there's more in you.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say what the next years will look like. I know I want to expand outside of just tactical games, like maybe do some more action shooting, like we were talking about. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to expand out and just do some more long range shooting, action shooting, both pistol and rifle. And I'll still do tactical games, but I think, yeah, there's more in the shooting world besides just this. And the tactical games has really opened my eyes to that. So I'll always stay in tactical games and like really enjoy that. But this is a great way for me to dip my toes in the water with some other stuff that I didn't even know existed prior.
Jamie Latimer, proud of you, Jenay.
Thanks, Jamie.
Well, awesome. Please stay in touch. Let me know any cool things you're doing. Always love having you on. You're a great guest, great ambassador of just humanity. Love having you on, Jenay.
Thanks, Savon. Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure and such a cool opportunity to share a little bit about what I'm doing in this cool sport. So
Awesome,
thank
dear.
you.
Yep. Have a good week and have a good couple weeks off with your family.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
See you later,
Ciao.
guys.
Good, Jenay.
Jenay DeCaussin. Physically fit, beautiful, strong, charming. I love listening to her talk. It's almost like listening to someone like from Ireland or Scotland talk, because not because of her accent, but just because there's so many things like I have to like, okay, what does that word mean? Like I have to like try to figure out her vernacular. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a whole nother language to it, isn't there?
Whole nother language. Yeah. The rectical. The rectical. Is that what it's called?
There's an extra C in there, but
Reticle.
Reticle.
Oh yeah, I just kept thinking rectical. Every time she said reticle, I'm so fucking so immature. Every time she said reticle, I just thought I was thinking of rectum jokes.
Reticle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Happy birthday to Matt Souza.
Happy birthday, Matt Souza.
Let's see. Matt's running 4
Is
miles.
he still going?
Every 4 hours. I'm gonna let me
God.
I think I have him in he's one of the few numbers I have in the phone here. With Maddie. See if we can get him on the phone. Hey. How you doing? Are you running right now? Oh shit, it won't connect to the Bluetooth.
I can't hear it.
What iteration is this? How far are you?
I'm 38 miles in, and this is going to go from 36 to 40, and then I have 2 more runs.
Oh my goodness, dude. And how are you? Looked great yesterday on the show. I mean, you seem very chill, like you had been working out a lot, but you didn't have bags under
Yeah.
your eyes or anything. How are you doing? How's your shit doing?
It's all right. Like sleep was tough. I still kept to my normal schedule, so I did the 4 a.m. run, and then I went and coached 5:30 and 6:30, and then I stretched out at the gym a little bit and like rolled the bottom of my feet because my left foot is fucking killing me. And then laced the shoes back up and went back out at 8.
Jesus Christ.
God, dude, you're such a boss. And yesterday you said your hip was tight. How's your hip?
The hip loosened up a little bit. I've been trying to be good about stretching it, so that's helped quite significantly. But it's actually like went down from my hip to my knee quite a bit. But I'm just trying to ignore it.
How are you sore just from the volume?
Yeah, definitely. Like sitting down and getting up, putting my shoes on. It's old man status, but it's kind of weird, like the different paces. So yesterday at 8 a.m. was probably the worst one. It was really cold, California cold, and I was just like suffering through it, just like warring, like trying to stay running, walking majority of it, running, walking majority of it. And then I did the noon. That was the one I did right before Kill Taylor. And then I went and did the noon run. And I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just the sunlight. But I ended up running it at an 8:38 pace.
Wow.
4 miles after that.
Wow.
It's crazy. So yeah, I haven't really been listening to music. I'm actually listening to the podcast when you called.
Oh, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, dude.
Hey, thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Appreciate
I'm
it.
really impressed. It's crazy you're doing this. Crazy
Yeah.
inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah, I got 2 more. Noon and then a victory lap at 4 p.m.
Hell yeah.
48 miles.
Awesome. Maybe Dave
Hell
Castro
yeah.
we can review tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'll take a little nap and we'll get after it. All my shit's still set up at the gym, so
Oh my God.
he's back there and do it.
All right, buddy. I love you. Thanks for picking
All
up.
right.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, of course.
Bye.
Oh, yes. Bye.
Holy shit. He's crazy.
Fuck, dude. I can't believe somebody just decides to do that. It's like, yeah, I just want to test myself. I'm going to do this on my own.
Jenay, she's so cool. Yeah, she is cool.
For sure.
Hey, Sevy. Hey, Mr. Flores. Very soccer Flores, Mexican in soccer. Seems apropos. I'm proposing to my girlfriend of 8 years this Friday. I'll be at the Point Pinos Lighthouse in Pacific Grove. Where is that? Is that by my house? Point Pinos? I'll be rolling up in my lowrider. Point Pinos?
It is.
Is that by me? Oh, yeah, that is by me. Oh, that's in my town. It says it's in SoCal.
Is it SoCal?
Am I seeing this right? Open in maps.
It says it's in Pacific Grove.
Yeah, where is that? Oh,
Monterey.
no. Oh, no. Monterey. Okay. Wow.
Congrats, dude.
Yeah, does she know? Don't tell Ice, buddy.
Hopefully she doesn't watch the show.
Mr. Flores, don't tell Ice. And I complain about my 1 mile a day. Oh, I should have asked him what he's running in.
Hopefully not Vans.
I wouldn't be surprised.
True. Good point.
What happened? Tank was having a bipolar meltdown in the chat today.
Yeah, I guess. It's his bi-weekly meltdown, and then he runs away.
You should listen, Tank. You should listen to the show with
Hibbler?
Yeah, Hibbler. He hates the Jews too. He hates the Jews too. He's bought into this. He's bought into the psyop too.
What's crazy is I bet he would not like him.
No, those guys don't get along with anybody.
Exactly. If they agree with you, they're like, no, you don't actually think what I think, and you're wrong.
Hey, 1.5 billion Muslims, 54 Muslim countries, no Jews allowed, and you're worried about Israel and Zionists because there's 12 million of them. And yet you acknowledge that the world is just run by different gangs, but you're upset that the Jews who offer their constituents clean running water and electricity are in charge, even though that's the model we live under of just gangs running everything. Meanwhile, the World Economic Forum, the UN, and all the one world order shit's trying to take over, but yet you still blame the Jews. It's crazy. It's so not big picture. It's like, okay, if you're going to acknowledge all that, which gang do you want? You want to just attack whatever gang's at the top? Okay, who do you want to be at the top? You want Putin? You want fucking the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia? No, I did. You know what's so funny, Don? You say this. Did you get the Action Camera 6? So I saw it came out. I went and I ordered it, and then I watched a video reviewing it, and then I unordered it. And normally, no matter what, like I would get it, but I just don't see the improvement. I just see that it's just a fucking a camera. None of the old. The only thing that works the same is the battery. None of the casings, none of the handles, none of the magnetic connections. It just sounds like it's a fuck up. What do you think? What do you think? When I time people out, other wrenches tattletale.
Maybe we need to revamp our wrenches.
I was waiting for you to take care of him. Jenny, I was waiting for you to take care of him. Oh. Here we go again. Muslims would be worse than the tribe, so you shouldn't care about the tribe. No, I'm not suggesting that. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying it's completely out of context. It's not a or. Clock cutter, are you a pedophile or are you a serial rapist? It's not an or. It's just context. It's just context. Just putting it in. How is Pool Boy still making those Kill Taylor intros better and better?
I don't know. He's
yes.
refining his technique.
Yeah, and I liked his look yesterday too. He had with the hoodie and his big eyes, and he looked cute. He looked like he could have been like a boy band in a boy band. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll like that compliment.
He looked normally I think he looks Asian. He looked Mexican yesterday.
He looked a little more Mexican, yeah.
Yeah, like he could have been in Menudo or whatever that band was from when I was a little kid. Was there a Menudo?
I thought that was a food.
I think maybe it is. There was a band, I thought it was called Menudo, but what's funny is they just kept young Mexican dudes in it, so they would always be switching them in and out.
Oh, there is a boy band called Menudo that was a bunch of young boys. You're right. From San Juan, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Oh, look at this. A medical eligibility requirement.
For what?
The council supported the Safety Advisory Board's recommendation to introduce a medical screening requirement for all individual and team athletes competing at the 2026 CrossFit Games. Give them a swimming test too. Make them do a swimming course. Like they have to be certified in some sort of swimming course. Really pile that shit on them. This new requirement aims to enhance the athlete's safety and align with common practices across elite sports. So now Justin Medeiros is going to have someone stick their finger in his ass and check his prostate before he competes. That's awesome. Grab his balls and cough.
Think they'll check their bunghole too? I
hope so. My son was doing rope climbs and got fucking slid down and fucking burned his fucking junk the other day.
That wasn't too smart.
Ari, poor Ari. But he's okay. No permanent damage. I'm just looking through some text messages. If there's anything I missed. Anything fun in here? I saw a after watching Hiller now for 5 years, I think he's infected me. I think he brainwashed me.
How?
Because I saw this morning, and I started clicking around on these people's accounts.
Oh.
And I'm just trying to figure out what the fuck these people are doing.
Nothing. That was probably the best one. And it wasn't even to depth.
I really don't understand what these people are doing. At their age, I would put a premium on range of motion over everything else.
Yes.
That for some reason that doesn't even look like that's good for your knees or her back. She's overarching her back. I used to do that too for the first fucking 5 years. 10 years I did CrossFit. It's because the cues are all fucked up.
Yeah, she's not bracing anything.
She looks like she's related to Pedro.
Oh.
Yeah, that you're right. She's not bracing. She's just and she needs to have a little wider grip and get that back a little further. Work on that shoulder mobility. There you go. Atta girl.
Just reach as high as you can.
First joined us bright and early on a Sunday morning for our very first Rebel Babes weightlifting intro block back.
Rebel Babes.
Fast forward to today, and she's now officially a Rebels weightlifting club.
Jesus criminy, dude.
That's brutal. I wonder if she can sit down to a toilet unassisted.
I mean, it's so fucking important to have range of motion at that age. I put range of motion as a premium on everything. I'm trying to get you. My phone's not working today, Jeremy. I'm so sorry. Here, I'll hold you just because I like you so much.
Sorry, should I just call your other number?
No, we're good. Hi.
What's up, dude? You said range of motion isn't important as you age?
No, I think I put a premium on range of motion. If I said that, I misspoke. For me, range of motion is everything. More important than strength. Like, I don't want to end up like Dave Tate, who can deadlift fucking sumo deadlift 1,000 pounds, but can't wash the fucking my butt crack with a bar of soap, or can't tie my own shoes. It's way more important you can run a 7-minute mile than you can back squat 225 pounds as an old lady.
Careful, you're gonna piss off Tanner Shuck.
It's
a strongly worded email.
It's crazy to build that into your memory right there.
One of the more frustrating things about being a coach when your staff is at your CrossFit gym is very large is when you have the idea that you just said, I very much prioritize range of motion over anything. For example, a workout that has wall balls, and my 55, 60, 65-year-old athlete or client or whatever in the class wants to do whatever, the 8-pound, the 12-pound, the whatever, but they're not even coming close to depth, and I take the ball away and I say, no, you're going to just squat. As a matter of fact, squat to the ball, have your ass touch the ball. Now we know you're getting that full range of motion. And then you go to a class a week later, has wall balls again or something like that, and someone else is coaching, and that coach is allowing that athlete, that member, to just, yeah, go ahead, use the wall ball. Don't worry about hitting depth. It's all good. You kind of just sit there shaking. I wonder how many people in the chat that coach have experienced something like that, because that's wildly frustrating, because we should be promoting the full range of motion, not, yeah, grab the ball and don't squat. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You gotten any good blowjobs lately?
Oh yeah, definitely getting blown left and right. I was gonna ask you, dude. Obviously UFC stuff. Ian Machado Gary. We could talk about his fighting, but have you seen his wife wrote a book?
Yes, but
Did you see that?
That was a couple years ago that came out, and I was kind of like hating on him for a bit, but now I love him. I love him.
What?
I love him.
No, you don't.
He pounded that fucking woke retard into oblivion. Bilal Muhammad's so fucking woke. I was so happy he ass pounded that guy.
In that realm, sure. Yeah. Okay. Beat up the woke. Okay, cool. Bilal needs to retire. I don't know how he was ever the champ, but
He's off the juice. He's off the juice.
You could be right. But dude, Ian's a real hard guy to get behind. Connor was easy to get behind. Ian is trying to be Connor, and he's not.
I'm loving Connor. I'm loving Ian. I'm loving Ian.
I don't know, dude. But his wife wrote a book called How to Marry How to Be a Wag, which is how to be a wife of a professional athlete, wife and girlfriend of a professional athlete.
Yeah, Andy took her last name. Andy took her last name.
God, dude, that's more woke than Bilal.
She blows him. She blows him. She blows him into oblivion. I assume, and she's hot, and she's hot as shit.
He is, but he took her name and she wrote a book about how to marry you. He's like, I can't cheer for a guy like that.
I like him.
He's gonna get pounded. Islam is going, Islam is gonna pound him into oblivion.
No.
You think he has a chance in that?
Dude, Islam. Think of who Islam fought. He fucking lost to Volk, but got the win. Volk was coming up a weight class, and then he finally beats Volk, who was fucking an alcoholic. So he got fucking lucky there with that. Volk was out of shape. Then he fought who are the next two guys he beat? The other guys he beat are like last minute fights. Let me look at Islam's tapology. Islam is so overrated.
But so is Ian.
And
they're both very overrated.
And he's not even Islam's a one fucking trick pony. I'm like his tapology. Let me tell you who he's fought. And now he wants to fight Kamaru, who's clearly punch drunk. Kamaru's clearly punch drunk and should retire. And he wants to fight Kamaru. Renato Moicano, his fight before Jack. Moicano took it on last minute notice. The Dustin Poirier, who fucking was retiring, Alexander Volkanovski, who is from a weight division, 2 weight divisions below him. I mean, he's a joke, man. He's a joke. He beat Charles Oliveira, who is a fucking glass jaw. I mean, it's like.
I was with you into that last one. I mean, not way off, but
yeah.
Freaking.
What round did he beat Charles in? He beat Charles in the round 2. Okay, at least he made it out of the first round, because Charles in the round 1 is always suspect.
Yeah. And you know what's going to happen. He's going to fight. He's the guy like Hamzat who probably isn't going to outstrike you, so he's going to take you down. He's going to lay on you for 5 rounds, just like he did to Jack, and that's all. He's going to take Ian down.
And just like Hamzat couldn't fucking finish. He had Duplessis in 5 fucking what are those crosses called? Crucifixes, and couldn't finish him. And Islam took him down but couldn't finish him. That's pathetic, dude. That's fucking pathetic. Let's let them fight 10 rounds and see what happens then.
I love that. They did make what's his name? The MMA guru guy made a good point that title contending fight should be 5 rounds. So Bilal and Machado should have fought for 5 rounds. I don't think the result would have been different, but I think I tend to agree with that guy. But at the end of the day, Islam's going to tackle him. He's going to play rugby football with him, take him down, hump him to death, and maybe eke out some sort of submission. But that's all that's going to happen. and then it's just going to set up like a Topuria versus Islam, and I think Topuria will put him to sleep, and we'll stop hearing about all this Islam hype all the time. But yeah,
So bad. All right, thanks for calling, buddy.
Bye.
All right, you're a little bit of UFC love. All right, see you guys later. Have another great day planned.
Sick.
Thanks for coming on. Jenay DeCaussin, thanks for coming on. We'll see you guys later for the Dave Castro Weekend Review. Oh, yeah, only if Jeremy had his own MMA show. Yep, he has his own MMA show with Dylan Vowell. Rear naked men. Rear naked talk.
Takes.
Rear naked takes. Deshaun Trump, Renee is hot. She works out. Jethro, peace. See you guys tomorrow. Or no, this evening.